Hello, welcome to Now What? Life After Beauty School. I am your beauty business coach, Crystal Ngozi, and this presentation is a guide to career planning and success for beauty professionals who are wanting to or preparing to go solo. So, a little bit about me. I am a former marketing and advertising specialist, a licensed esthetician, a makeup and brow artist, a licensed continuing education provider, and a beauty business coach. So basically, my passion and my purpose for marketing and beauty equals why I became a beauty business coach. So, here are the tools of the trade, okay? Must have tools and resources I feel as though are very important in building your beauty business. Number one, a website builder. I currently use Squarespace, but you can absolutely use Wix or WordPress, or there's several other website builders out there that are perfect for you to build a simple website. Number two, when preparing to go off on your own and build your own business, very important for you to have a payment processor. I currently use Square, but there's Glossable and Stripe as well. Invoice platform, I currently use Square, but and I use invoices just because I'm also a bridal makeup artist. So I use Square to send invoices for my brides. And then also, number four, a graphics and content creator. I currently use Canva, which is very, very easy. Even as, a former life as a marketing and graphic designer, I used to use Photoshop and Illustrator, but Canva is very easy even for, people who do not have any experience in Photoshop or graphics. Canva is a really, really good way to make your content look very professional. Also a social media scheduler. I always say no one has time to be on social media all day, even though we are. But later.com is a great, great way to upload your content, to plan out your content on social media and just have it automatically post. So later.com is an awesome platform to use. And then lastly, I am an extreme planner. I like to organize everything. So I use Google Suite for Business. Once again, there are other platforms. What's on the list is not an end all be all, but these are the Google Suite for Business is really good for organizing my files, organizing my notes, organizing my protocols, and things of that sort. So before going solo, I think these are always, I get some of my clients, some of my students and coaching clients asking me, like, what do I need to do, Crystal, in order to prepare to go solo? So here are a few tips. Number one, have a plan. Don't just go jump out and go solo. Always have a plan. And the first plan that you need to have is a business plan. And a great resource to find a great business plan template is the Small Business Association, SBA.gov. Number two, start slow. It's okay to start small and start slow if you need to. Um, I always advise people, and when people ask me how did I go solo right after school, one of the things that I did was I didn't just jump out and start offering, a slew of services. I got into my mind, I said, okay, what are maybe 2 to 3 services that are profitable, that I enjoy doing, and that I can start, not necessarily cheap, but what 2 or 3 services that are cost efficient for me to get started up very fast. So find a niche and grow your business with that one niche. Become the go-to person. So I didn't narrow it down to one. I narrowed it down to 2 because I couldn't decide. But I ended up becoming a brow artist. So I did, natural brow shaping, tinting, brow lamination. So I focused on brow services. So maybe 2 to 3 signature brow services that I can stack on top of each other. And then secondly, I did facials. So I was like, okay, I'm the go-to person for acne care, not just facials, but acne. So I'm a brow artist slash acne care specialist. So those were my 2. When you think of Crystal Ngozi, you think, oh, she's going to get my brows together and she's going to get my skin together. Okay. Number three, define your demo or demographic. Hint, it is not everyone or anyone. You can't be everything to everyone, and guess what? That's okay. All right. So you want to define your age range, the gender that you're going to service. And it could be both male and female. For the age range, it could be pretty broad. You might want to service 18 to 28, but get that in your head of who you want to target, okay? Zip codes and areas. So you can't just service, all of Florida. Florida's a pretty big state, so narrow it down. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. My studio currently is in Tucker, Georgia. So I service people within that 20-mile radius. So when I set up my Facebook ads and things of that sort, I target not just Tucker, and I don't say Atlanta because Atlanta's broad. And guess what? Everyone advertises to Atlanta. So I do Tucker, Lilburn, Sandy Springs, Dunwoody. If you don't live in Georgia, these terms, these cities are very foreign to you. But just get in your mind of, okay, where do I live and what is the mile radius of who I want to target? Put into your mind the challenges that they face, okay? So with my brow clients, I knew that they have been over tweezed, over waxed, and over threaded. And I actually use this terminology in my ads to target people. And most of my clientele, they want to grow back their brows to be fuller without having to fill them in every day. Once again, I use that terminology in my ads and things of that sort. So I think about the challenges that they face. For my acne clients, what challenges do they face? Hyperpigmentation, acne scarring, adult and teen and adult acne. So I think about those terms, I write them down, and I write down the challenges that they face. With acne clients, they suffer, not everyone, but some people suffer from a trauma from having low self-esteem because they have the acne scarring. Think of those challenges that those clients have and make sure you write them down. And then think about, how can you solve this one problem, or for me, these two issues that my target demographic suffers from, okay? Number four, define your services. Once again, you want to really narrow down what services, one or two at the most, of, what services will assist you in solving those issues that you wrote down in step number three. So I always advise people to conduct market research on what is needed in the market. What are other professionals offering? What are they not offering? Don't necessarily copy what other professionals are doing, but get into your mind, what is the market demand? If you go and type in micro needling near me, find out who else is offering those services. Or think about, okay, or LED treatments, or hair color services and things of that sort. Take a look at what your market is wanting, and that's by simple Google search. Play around with different words. Chat with your current clients, or your friends, about the different services that they search for. Like I said, identify maybe one or two at the most problems that will solve, that your services will solve for the client. Or identify a question that you will answer and one need that you will actually satisfy. Connect the dots from the market demand to the service offering that will actually fill the command, and then take into account other factors such as, what services are you absolutely the best at, and then what services do you enjoy doing. Because trust me, you don't want to just do it for the money. You want to make sure that you actually enjoy doing these services. One of the things that why I chose brows, and why I chose acne, is because I'm absolutely connected to those. I started off as a makeup artist first, absolutely loved makeup, and I feel as though brows frame your face. And I had a lot of clients who've had their brows waxed off, tweezed off, just messed up in periods, such as like off balance and things of that sort. So when I became a licensed esthetician, I became obsessed with making sure that my clients had the perfect brow, so that way it's easier to fill in, right? And then the reason why I became obsessed with skincare is because I suffered from adult acne. I suffered from hyperpigmentation, and due to my obsession with clearing my own skin, I grew a love for helping others. So in the back of your mind, get together your why. Don't just do it for money. And I'll tell you, I absolutely love what I do, and I set my prices accordingly so that I can enjoy making the money from it. But at the end of the day, I absolutely enjoy these services regardless of how much money I make. Five, set your prices. There are a few ways that you can find your prices. In this webinar, we're not going to get deep into it, but you don't want to charge by what everyone else is charging around you. A couple of my services are 10, 15, $20 more than what my next door neighbor is charging. But the reason being is because I have a niche. I'm maybe one of two or three people in the area that are doing the specific services in the way that I'm doing them. How much time does it take for you to complete the service? Take that into account. Take into account the cost per service. What are your overhead costs? Are you paying booth rent? Are you paying for a salon suite? Are you working out of your home? Is this a premium or a specialty service? So if you dig deep into a service that you are perhaps performing, maybe you can charge a little bit higher because no one else in the area is doing it. Or maybe you live in a town where no one else is doing this particular service. You can absolutely charge a premium for it. Get paid what you're worth. Find out how much the competition is charging just so that you can know, but never price yourself lower than the competition. Number six, define your startup costs. Write everything down. Use a spreadsheet. I used a spreadsheet before I went solo to really get into my mind what is needed in order for me to go solo. So I wrote down all of the products I needed. I wrote down all of the equipment that I may need. I wrote down rental fees because I priced those out. I went, window shopping for a salon suite to rent out. Write down all of your utilities in case the salon suite does not offer all utilities included. I even budgeted out my decor. What are some items that I would absolutely need to start in order to open up my own, in order to go solo? You can actually start sooner by making three separate startup sheets. So I took a Microsoft, Excel spreadsheet, and I had tabs of on the must-have tab, I had products, equipment, rental, utilities, decor. I had everything down, everything I absolutely need to start, and I totaled it up. I went window shopping. I went on Amazon.com, Wayfair, whatever it is. I wrote everything down. Then on the next tab, I copy and pasted and I did a nice to have. So these actually had a little bit more than my must haves. And then I had a future list of everything I absolutely want in the future. Once business is rolling and I'm making the money that I need, how many other things do I need to add in order to make myself comfortable, in order to grow the business that I want. So on my future list, I have more equipment, maybe a bigger rental space, maybe more lavish decor, but that's my future list, right? You want to focus on your must have list in order to go solo sooner than later. And so I have on each of those lists, I totaled everything up and I had a jump total. Have that in your head and also have that total in your bank account before you go and take the leap. So when I graduated and I was ready to go solo, I had the jump total in my head and I actually didn't realize I had been saving very diligently. And I looked at my bank account and said, I have my jump total. And so I just went for it. So if you are financially in the place where it's time for you to go, but you don't know where you are or what place you're going to be in unless you do this work and you total up everything, okay? Number 7, define your location. So think about the location. Are you going to work in the city, the outskirts, or downtown? I know where I live in Atlanta that it may be a little too expensive to work in, Buckhead or Midtown. So maybe the outskirts may work best for you. Will it be central to your target demographic? Think about it. How much do they make? Where would they possibly be living? How far are they willing to travel? I know personally that my clients don't like to travel more than maybe 15, 20 miles for services. Is parking available? Take a look at that. Do you live in a major city? Is parking going to be cumbersome to get if you decide to move your salon suite somewhere else? Will you be working from a salon suite, or will you be working from an office space or a room share, or will you be working from your home? So be sure that you check your state and legal requirements for all of the above, because maybe some states don't allow you to work or run a salon or a suite or things of that sort out of your home. So make sure you're well versed in that. So let's get into personal branding. Personal branding, your toolkit. Always have a website. I don't care if you have social media, always make sure you have a website. Always make sure you have business cards. Once again, even if you have a social media, always make sure that you have a business social media account, not just a personal account. Make sure that you keep your business. Have a service menu and flyers. Always have a logo, and also use brand colors. Maybe use, maybe one or two colors. If you could see, my branding is right here. I have pink, black, and white. Okay, so make sure you're always branding yourself with using those colors in your logo as well. Um, People always say, do you my coaching clients always ask me, like, well, Crystal, do I really need business cards? If you rely on social media, and I have a whole webinar about this, if you rely on social media, people may lose you. If I meet you at a seminar and I say, yeah, follow me, I'm Crystal Ngozi Beauty or Crystal Ngozi Coaching, follow me, and then you walk out of that seminar door, are you really going to remember to follow me? And even if you're not a well-known name, are people really going to remember, okay, this is who I met at this place, let me follow her to get my brows done? Okay, so make sure you always have at least these 6 things for your personal branding. So ways to build your client list. Personal network. Tell everyone what you do. Have an elevator pitch and tell the world. Make calls, text messages, emails. This is where growing your email list actually comes in handy, because if you had been growing your email list before you went solo, then you would have been able to make the announcement of, hey, I moved. So when I actually apprenticed before, or while I was in school, before I went solo. So then that way, when I graduated, I could just go solo. I was building my client list. So I told everybody what I did, and I collected their email address and invited them into the salon where I worked. So I built my own personal email list. And of course, don't do anything shady. Make sure you let your current employer know what you're doing and make sure that that's allowed. But make sure that you build your personal network, whether that's an email list or not. And that way, when it's time for you to go solo, you can just simply let everybody know. And then that way, people can start to follow you where your new place is. Build your social media following. So now is the time to build a local social media presence. Don't forget to use geotagging and local hashtags such as, hashtag Atlanta Brows, hashtag ATL Brows, or Houston Brows, wherever you live, Atlanta Skincare. And then thirdly, referrals. Be specific with your request. Whenever someone is in my chair and I'm doing their brows, or they're laying down and I'm doing their facial, I always say, would you happen to know of anybody who would benefit from, clearing their acne and hyperpigmentation? Or be very specific. Do you know 3 people? Oh, you have a sister. Do you think she may be interested in a facial? Make sure you're getting to know your clients and then start asking for referrals. So that's is quick little run through about Life After Beauty School. I do have an additional resource for you. If you right here after this webinar, you are able to download a workbook, and it actually walks you through everything I talked about today, and it helps you to prepare. It has a checklist and everything. It helps you to prepare to go solo. If you have any questions, you can absolutely always keep in touch with me. You can go to coaching@crystalngozibeauty.com. You can follow me on Facebook at Crystal Ngozi Coaching. Follow me on Instagram, Crystal Ngozi Coaching. Go to my website. I have lots of other tutorials and downloads and classes for you to take at crystalngozibeauty.com/coaching. And then also, if you're on LinkedIn, please link with me at Crystal Ngozi. Once again, thank you so much for being with me today. Once again, please keep in touch. crystalngozibeauty.com/coaching. I am your beauty business coach. Have a wonderful, prosperous time building your business.